Georgia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Yep.
All right. Let's see. You should be able to hear some music. Let me know if you hear this. Did you hear that?
Yes, I hear the music.
All right. So we are pretty much live right now in about 10 seconds. But the
Okay.
actual
No
show
problem.
will start in another 4 minutes. You can stay online.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. RC. The number to call is 469 307 469-307-1642. You are listening to Dallas Live. Our featured guest is Georgia Woodbine, and she is going to spend about an hour with us. And her new book is How to Attract the Right Man into Your Life and No More Settling. Now, the other day I was listening to Louis Farrakhan, our minister from the Nation of Islam. Now, he was saying that the number of black men available for black women is pretty much dwindling, and Georgia Woodbine may be able to throw some light on it. He says that many eligible men, black men in America, are either in military, incarcerated, or married to white women. Oh my goodness! All right, before we get to all that subject matter, what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and play a promo video from Georgia Woodbine from YouTube. Here we go. Speedy life, speedy positive, speedy great things. What do you see for your life? Teacher, leader, best-selling author, empowering communities worldwide and transforming minds. Georgia Woodbine sparks the power in you. What are you going to challenge yourself to do different this time? One of the world's leading authorities in personal, spiritual, and business development, captivating you with her message of hope and finding your purpose. I said nothing is impossible. And equipping you with tools you need to live your best life. Remember, the change you're looking for is one decision away. If you believe you are success, ladies and gentlemen, that's Georgia Woodbine. Georgia, welcome to Dallas Live.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, I don't know whether I brought the right subject matter to begin with. I brought up a very controversial figure, Louis Farrakhan. Do you know him?
Yes, of course.
All right, very good. Okay, let's get right to it. Before we start your program, I would like to know a little bit more about you. Where were you born, and what did you do at the early part of your life?
Well, basically, I worked in the music industry for a while, managing artists and producers, and you know, in early stages of my life, I always wanted to find out what it is that I should be doing, and I tapped into many of my gifts, and I didn't really know what it was, but I knew I was intrigued by the entertainment industry, so I started out doing that, and then it kind of trickled into me becoming a life coach because I was dealing with artists and, helping them make decisions and dealing with them on a regular basis. So I decided to become a life coach, and then I wrote my first book back in 2005. I didn't know I had the gift to be a writer. It's just something that it was already in me. And I always tell people, if you can do something for free, that's usually what your passion is. Because when you find your passion and you do it, it's something you'll do without getting paid for it. So the writing was natural to me, and it came to me. And I wrote my first book again, I said, in 2005. And then I went on to write several other books. And it led me to this point today where I am, you know, release this relationship book. So I have books on career development, personal development, time management, leadership skills, spiritual development, and I try to cover, many different aspects of a person being able to grow as an individual and tap into their inner selves to live in their highest potential.
Okay, now this new book that you wrote, How to Attract the Right Man into Your Life, when did you write it?
This book was released early in the year, last year, and so funny how I wrote that book. I was out with my sisters and some girlfriends, and we were talking, like you're saying, having a conversation about men and where's the gap in finding that right man, and why is it so hard to attract the right man? And that's what led me to write this book, because women are always coming to me asking me questions on, what should I do? How should I respond to this guy? Is he interested in me? Is he not interested? How can I tell if he really, wants to settle down with me? Is he playing games with me? So this comes from having many conversations with men and women and getting a full perspective on what the men think and where they're coming from as far as what they're looking for in the women and what the women are looking for in the men.
All right, so let's start with the women. What are they looking for in men?
What are women looking for in men?
Yes.
Well, women are looking for somebody that can be very supportive of their goals and dreams, somebody that knows how to treat them like a lady, someone that knows how to respect them, how to spoil them, make them feel good about themselves.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think men and women are looking for the same thing. Men and women are looking for the same thing. They want a best friend. They want somebody that they can enjoy their company. They want someone that they can rely on and depend on in situations where they feel like, okay, this person is going to be here for me no matter what. And women and men both look for that. So I don't think it's just the women. I think men are looking for the exact same things. They just have a different way of saying it.
Okay, yes, men have a different way of saying it. A previous whole guest in our program said that if you want to calm down a man and make him feel good, just ask about his sports team and everything will be resolved. Of course, women are not interested that much, but women are more interested in feelings and emotions and money and how they look and those kind of things. Yeah, very interesting. So, according to you, both men and women are looking for the same thing, the right company, and make sure that the other party is not playing games. Are they trying to settle
Right.
down now?
Mhm.
Now, in your book, how do we find this man, or how does the man find this woman? This looks like a serious problem, in spite of Skype and internet dating and everything else out there. It's getting harder and harder as you age.
Right. Well, I come from a perspective, and that's why I think this is such a great book because I'm not talking about going out there and searching for a man because I think that's the problem. When women or men are in relationships, they follow relationship patterns. So even though they're looking to find someone different, they are used to a certain type of person, so they go to the same places that they used to go to meet that type of person. So you have to expand your horizons and start doing things differently to attract a person in your life. If you're somebody that likes to read, go to a bookstore. Don't go with the okay, just go with a positive attitude, be approachable. And women need to be approachable for men. So enjoy your life doing things that you love to do and love yourself, and then you can attract that right man because men are attracted to confident women. And if you're confident and you are steadfast in what you believe in and your values and your morals, and you know who you are and you're comfortable in your own skin, when a man comes around, he's going to feel that energy. And men love to feel good, and men love women that make them feel good about themselves. So if they're around that, they're going to want to be attracted to talk to those type of women.
Yeah,
So it's really about carrying that energy. It's about an energy that you carry within yourself to attract it, not seek out for it, but attract it and let it come to you.
okay, so you have to position yourself as the person who is going to attract the right man, and it will happen. Now, once you attract the man, and the man is in your space, and the
Hmm.
relationship starts, that's when all the problems start, don't you think?
Well, I mean, this is the problem I think most people have in relationships. They're not friends first. It's the physical attraction initially, and that dies out after a while. That's why there's problems. If people take the time out to get to know the person that they're sleeping with or that they're going to be spending time with, then you can see the red flags early. Like I talk about it, there's a chapter I call Recognizing the Red Flags. Just like, if you meet a woman and you see that there's certain things about her or, you see things early on. You can have a conversation with a man and tell what interests him and what's important to him and what does he think about politics or what does he think. People have to take the time to get to know the person before they get into the relationship. Become the person's best friend. Because when you become someone's best friend, there are no expectations. There are no, okay, well, you need to buy me this, or you need to take me here, or you need to sleep with me, or you need to. There's no expectations when you're friends. So it's always important to start off any relationship with someone as friends first. Because now your guards are down. You feel comfortable with this person. You're not trying to prove yourself to this person. Your representative is not showing up. I always say when people meet people initially for the first time, their representative shows up. The person that they want you to see on the outside. Not the person that's really there, because everybody wants to try to impress. It's a natural instinct that people have where I want this person to see this part of me. So, I think when you let that guard down and you're yourself and you're your natural self and you get to learn to like somebody for who they are and become their friends, now when you become into a relationship, you can enjoy this person. It's not like you're being forced to spend time with the person. It's like, I really like going out doing things with this person because we have a lot of the same interests. But if you don't become friends, how do you know you even share the same interests? There's a lot of people that's married to somebody else's soulmate.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Now, Georgia, here is my problem. Coming from a man's perspective. Okay,
Right?
when I want to, when I if I'm supposedly looking for a woman, the first and foremost attraction is the physical beauty. Okay, now
Right?
here's the problem with this. As soon as I see her, I say, wait a minute, here is a good looking woman. That's all in my head right now. So,
Right?
how do I change this around and become friends with somebody? For the man, that's a dichotomy because for a man, uh, if he is single and looking for a woman, every woman causes sexual tension in him.
Right.
Not every woman, the woman he is interested in.
Right.
Now, if he is not, if the only women that he wants to be friends with is women that are that he is not attracted to. So what I'm in we are in a we are in a serious problem here.
Right. Well, but I want to challenge you on that because most men, even though they say they want this woman physically, men like a challenge. Men love to hunt. They love to chase. Men are like predators.
That is
So
correct.
if they find a woman, even though they might be attracted to her, and they see that this woman is a challenge, and she's not just gonna succumb to him and give in to him because he may take her out a couple of times or spend a few dollars on her, and she lets him know that he has to earn her trust, respect, and love. And a man is attracted to that. A man is attracted to an intelligent woman. A man is attracted to a woman that works out and takes care of her body. And initially, like you said, it may be physical, but for a man to continue to feel that way, it has to be more than just the physical. That dies after a while. So men, even though they may see her eyes, it may be something simple like her eyes, the way she smiles, the way she looks. But, even if you're attracted to that woman and that woman no longer becomes a challenge to you, you're on to the next one. Am I right?
Absolutely, yes. Now that is a problem. In fact, it's a problem for both men and women. And now how does exactly how does a woman approach this? Because now I told you how as a man I would approach this, but we men have some serious problems when it comes to get on with this thing. And
Yes.
yes, now one major flaw for any man, and I don't know how this probably in the genetics. One major flaw is once the conquest has occurred, once he has conquered a woman, then he is not so much interested. How do you stop this? I mean, this is the worst part of any relationship or any marriage. So the men are doomed to fail. Looks like it.
Well, the things I talk about in the book is women need to learn to connect with a man emotionally before she does physically. Because what happens is you cannot connect with a man in one night emotionally and physically. Men have to separate the two. So if you learn, that's why I was talking about the friendship. Even if a man's attracted to you and he knows that you want to learn him and get to know him and get to like him for who he is, then he's going to be attracted to that because you're not just giving in to, okay, he's trying to sleep with me. So, okay, let me get to know. If you connect with a man emotionally and the man feels comfortable around you and he feels like he can do things with you, you make him feel good, you make him feel happy, you make him smile, that's what I think the longevity comes in with men. Because men are not looking for a quick fix. That's not the woman that they're going to take home to mom.
I
The
see.
ones that they know that they could sleep with right away.
Yeah.
They want the ones that they know that they could open up to,
Okay. Listen,
connect with.
we
It's
have
about connection, having that chemistry.
okay, Georgia, we have to take a quick commercial break here. While the commercial
Sure.
break is going on, we are going to play your video from YouTube, Fight for Your
Okay.
Life. And that video will continue for the entire length of 3 minutes and 20 seconds while the commercials are on. And then at the end of the
Okay.
video, I will come back. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. RC. Now, RC is actually my first and last name, Ravi Chandran. But according to Georgia Woodbine, Dr. RC could be Dr. Reality Check, and we will hear about this. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. Georgia, please stay on the line.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Georgia Woodbine, national best-selling author, speaker, and life coach with products that move you. I have books, How to Make Big Bucks Without Selling Your Soul, Jewels of Inspirations and Reflections, audio CD, Make It Happen, as well as DVD, Live by Your Design. On this DVD, Fight for Your Life, I will be discussing how to stimulate your own personal economy. I know you're probably thinking out there, Georgia Woodbine, how do I stimulate my own personal economy? And it begins with your thinking. I will be giving you creative tips and strategic steps on how to motivate yourself during these challenging times. The first step to stimulating the economy is to stimulate the individual. We need to stimulate ourselves and motivate ourselves because we all know to build this economy back to where it was, it's going to begin from the bottom up, not from the top down. I will be giving you tips on how to examine your morals and values, how to manage your time, how to create a passion plan. Where is your passion? Where did it go? So how to create a passion plan for yourself. Also, how to find a need in your community and fill that void. How to expand your network. How to master your thought process. And how to keep the consistency. Because I think that's where most people fall short. They get all these great ideas, but it's hard to stay consistent and persistent. And that's going to be needed in getting you to the next level in your success.
What does it mean to live? To really be alive? Facing fears with hope, trials with confidence, life with expectation. In the here and now, not just the by and by.
I personally do not use the term, we're in a recession. Who says we're in a recession? You know what I call it? RC. What does RC stand for? It's reality check. Because that's basically what's happening. It's like someone came to your door and said, knock, knock. Who's there? Reality check. What have you been doing with your money? What have you been doing with your time? What have you been doing with your life for the past 10 years, for the past 15 years? So now all of a sudden, you're faced with this reality check. Who am I? What have I been doing? How have I been adding value to my community? And you're calling it a recession? I don't think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. RC. You are listening to our featured guest, Georgia Woodbine. She is the author of the latest book, How to Attract the Right Man into Your Life, and also she has written several other books, How to Make Big Bucks Without Selling Your Soul, Jewels of Inspiration and Reflections, A Journey of Life, How to Choose Your Career Path, Charting Your Success, and also produced life-changing audio and video programs. Make it happen, live by your design, and fight for your life. How to stimulate your own personal economy. Georgia, welcome back to our second segment.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well, thank you. Listen, apparently your RC is my name, so there is some connection here. Very good.
Absolutely. I always talk about that. There's always somewhere where we're connected with somebody and something happens where the actual connection manifests. So we're all connected. It's just that we have to be aware that we are connected.
All right, excellent. Now, let's come back to women. Now, women in America, especially between the age of 30 to say 50, it was told by some statistician, and by the way, these statisticians can come up with all kinds of numbers. I don't totally believe them, but this is what they said,
Right.
that the chances of a single woman, say, or a single mom getting married to a potential prospective husband, he's worse than getting hit by lightning. Is that true?
Oh my God, that sounds so. Oh my God, that sounds so bad the way you said it. I mean, I don't agree with that. I think the way to change that, those statistics, is to get people to change within themselves, to get them to do things differently. I think sometimes women can be very demanding, have high expectations, um, and put too much pressure on men at times. And I believe that once you learn to love yourself and who you are, you can learn to love that man. It begins within the individual because you can keep going on this roller coaster, this cycle of men and women in your life, and you just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. So it has to start with the individual. You know, love who you are as an individual, get comfortable in your own skin, and now you can see what it is you're looking for. Because, a lot of times men say, women say, I know what I want in a relationship, and they really don't because they repeat a lot of the same bad habits, they repeat a lot of the same bad attitudes, the bad approaches, and it's just ongoing. So those numbers can change just when the woman realizes her power, when she realizes her self-worth, when she realizes her value, that I deserve to be loved and respected and treated, with that kind of love. I deserve to find that kind of love. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have a companion. If you're walking around saying, I would feel bad for women if they walked around saying, okay, because these numbers say this or because statistics say this, I'll never find a man. Because the more a woman says that is exactly what's going to materialize. So it starts with the mind and what you think and what you think you can have and what you think you can achieve and going outside of the box, changing your environment, changing the people that you're surrounded by. Started, opening, expanded your network of people, and not having the phrase "my type." And stop saying that's not my type, or she's not my type, or he's not my type, because it's really not about types. It's about, is this person going to help me grow as an individual? Is this person going to add value to my life? Is this person going to make me better? Am I going to make him better? It's about that. It's not about the physical appearance. It's not about the money. It's not about all those external things. It's never about that. It's about something deeper within. And once we can learn to work on ourselves and accept who we are, then we can move forward and say, okay, now I'm ready to find that man, all right? Now I'm ready for that man to find me, or I'm
Okay.
ready for that woman to find me.
All right. So, in other words, well, I guess it's women. They are going to attract men, and they are going to not move around so much. Figuratively and literally, they are not going to move. They are going to sit down in some place, and the men are going to come to them because men are already out there running around looking for somebody. Correct?
Exactly. The men are always going to be there. They're not going anywhere.
I was
Women,
told.
they still.
I was told you can find a man in a rooftop to the basement. They're all over the place. Now, now the question is, therefore, for a woman, in order to attract the right man, she has to be happy with her own skin and she has to
Yes.
feel content and happy, and she cannot expect a man to bring happiness. She can only share her and his happiness in a relationship. So, as long as they, according to what you are telling me, as long as they figure that out, that they
Mhm.
that some other man is not responsible for bringing them happiness, or some other woman is going to be held responsible, like it sounds like held accused or something. So
Mhm.
it's somebody, they have to first to do the right thing for themselves. They have to feel good about themselves, then their attractiveness
Right.
exponentially increases. Is that what your book says?
Yes, absolutely. I talk about women walking in their power. And, women have the power over men. Let's face it. Men will do anything to get that woman he wants. And sex is not the only power that women have over men. There are many other ways in which a woman can be appealing to a man. You know, a woman has the capability to guide a man with her emotions and her love. Because men want love. They want to feel love. They want someone to make them feel special. They want someone to give them that compliment. They want someone to support their dream, to say, yes, honey, you can do this. I believe in you. You know, men need that. It's important to them. You know, when women spend time with a man, they want to make sure that they're doing the things to make that other person feel good and not be so self-centered all the time. You know, it's those happy non-sexual moments that makes the man attracted to the woman. You know, for a woman to make a man feel good without sex, that's when she realizes she has this man emotionally. Now she has him where she wants him.
You know,
I gotta give away the secrets. But do you not agree though? I mean, it's true.
I totally agree with that. Absolutely. You know, as a man, if I feel comfortable, set aside the sex part, because sex part is really private. You know, that is some internal feeling that the man has to satisfy. But other than that, there are a number of other requirements that the man is looking for. How am I going to be looking in the social settings? You know, is she emotionally fulfilling? Is she taking care of me? Do I feel love coming from her? Not the sexual part of it, just the love. Is she my soulmate? And all those questions always come to the man's mind. But you know, you are absolutely right. There are a lot of women who are married to somebody else's soulmate. That's absolutely correct. You know, so how do you find your soulmate for both men and women? Then you may have to expand upon this.
Well,
You
yeah,
have three. By the way, you have
some people,
3 minutes.
it's so funny. I got to share a story with you real quickly. But my fiance, I'm going to be getting married July of this year.
Congratulations.
And yes, thank you. My fiance, we were friends. Like, we've known each other for 14 years as friends. And, you know,
As
I never
friends.
looked at him in that light.
Ah.
You know, but when I was ready, see, I got to a place where I said, I'm ready for him to come into my life. Like, I mentally, I spoke the affirmation. I spoke it to the universe. I said it to myself. I said, I'm ready. I'm ready for him. And a lot of times I think that even though people say that they're ready for a relationship, they may not be. They may have some things that they need to work on. But when you become mentally ready for something and you say to yourself, I'm ready for someone to come into my life, now you're opening that door for them to come. So you don't know the form they're going to come in. You don't know where they're going to come from. You don't know how they're going to come. You don't know who's going to come. But you just believe within and know that, okay, I'm ready. So they're going to come. And that's what happened to me. So when we were friends. I never looked at him that light, but when I said I was ready,
one quick question: How many years you were friends with him?
14 years.
Friends,
We've been friends for
platonic.
14 years. Meaning, we knew each other. We weren't like spending time together as best friends, but I knew him, and we spoke and we talked, but we didn't really go out or do anything. But we knew each other.
Wow. So that makes a lot of difference.
It makes a big difference. But then even when, it's so funny because even when we started to hang out, I kept telling him, you're my friend. I can't cross that line. You're my friend. And he was very persistent. Like I said, men love to hunt and chase. They're predators. He would not take no for an answer. He kept pursuing me. We would go out. We would spend time together. We would go see live music together. We would go to plays together. We would go to shows. And we just enjoyed each other's company.
All right. Okay. Well, we are coming to a break. This conversation is going pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. RC, and that stands for Reality Check, by the way. And the number to call is 469-307-1642, 1642. You are also listening to Georgia Woodbine. She is a motivational speaker. Well, let's go ahead and play her motivational speech that is uploaded into YouTube, and once that is over, we will come back and continue our conversation with Georgia. Georgia, please stay on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. With your name on it. God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing. Everybody. God's got a blessing. You say God's got a blessing. Come on. Everybody say God's got a blessing. Come on, Jay. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. With your name on it. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. How about you? With my name on it. 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 Break it down one more time, Joe. With my name on it. Wait. Come on, God's got a blessing. 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 With your name on it. With your name on it. God's got a blessing. 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 With your name on it. With your name on it. With your name on it.
Let me tell you something. I always tell people, God will change the whole universe to bless you. The blessing is already there. Just come and get it. It's right here in front of you. Just come and get it. I put your name on it. So this means that nobody else can get this blessing but you. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. R.C. You are listening to our featured guest, Georgia Woodbine. She is an author of the latest book, How to Attract the Right Man into Your Life and No More Settling. Georgia, welcome back to our third segment.
Thanks for having me.
All right, very good, Georgia. So here is, before the break, I was going to ask you an important question. You know,
Sure.
most of the men, okay, are left out on the friend zone until the woman makes the decision, well, I think now I need to upgrade this man from a friend to a lover. Now, in your case, what is that one thing that changed your mind to upgrade your fiance from just a friend to your potential husband and partner?
Well, I think the fact that he didn't let that get in between us, even though he was attracted to me, he didn't change. He didn't stop doing things because he, was expecting something. So I had a lot of respect for that in him as a man because he didn't try to force me to be with him in that way. It was like, I'm just going to be me. And, if you want me to be your friend, I'll be your friend. The fact that he was my friend and respected the fact that that's what I wanted at that time in my life, because we all know that at different times in our life we change. We want different things at different times as we grow. And at that time in my life, that's what I needed. I needed a friend. I didn't need a boyfriend. I didn't need a lover. I needed a man that could be my friend. So the fact that he respected that and he didn't try to, he didn't have any expectations. It was like, I'm going to be your friend. Okay, that's what you want. I'll be your friend. Whatever happens, happens. And, once I saw that, I said, wow, as time went on, I said, this is really a good guy. This is, how many guys really stick around, even if they're attracted to you?
Yeah,
after
right.
You're telling him you want him to be your friend,
Exactly. Most of the time they will take a quick flight and get out of there and look for somebody else.
It's true. So, I realized that, wow, this is the one. And it's so funny. It was kind of like a aha moment. We were having such a great time together. He was everything that I said I wanted in a man, but I didn't know it was him. And so I had an aha moment where it was like, wow. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Clueless, but in the movie Clueless, there's a guy who's an attorney who's like in love with this guy's daughter, and he's like doing everything to get her attention, and she wouldn't give him the time of day. And at the end of the movie, she realized, she goes, I love Josh. I love Josh. because
Exactly.
Like, wait a minute, I think I love him. So I think I had one of those coolest moments, and it was
Ah,
like, I really love this guy. You know, he's everything I want in a man. Like, why won't I give him a shot? And that's kind of what happened. So I'm glad I did because now we're getting married.
oh, that's fantastic story. That's very, very nice. You know, that's I wish more men and women have the same experience like what you had, because most of the time these kind of relationships, not yours, but most people, for most men and women, the relationship starts with the wrong foot forward. The wrong foot
Right.
forward for the men is the attraction of sex and trying to have sex. Now that doesn't work very
Mhm.
well at all. And the women, women's nature is to be safe and secure in the presence of a man. And if this guy comes, with a heavy force like that, I mean, they are scared and they are ready to run. And
Right.
now, ladies and gentlemen, now you heard it in this show first. How this thing actually is supposed to work. Georgia Woodbine, she is the author of the latest book, How to Attract the Right Man into Your Life and No More Settling. Now, let's go to the part of the settling. Now, it seems most men, as well as most women, they look around and they try all these different things and they say, wait a minute, this is all I can do. This guy right there, every day just comes around and this is it. And now, what is wrong with settling, and why they should not just settle?
Well, I believe that, you know, a lot of times why people settle is because they're not used to anything different. So they go with what's comfortable. And I think, I always say it's always easier for people to have negative thoughts than positive thoughts. And that's the same thing in relationships. It's easier for somebody to settle than to not settle because it takes more work, it takes more energy, it takes more thought process, it takes more personal development, it takes more character development. And I think that a lot of times people figure, why change anything? Why do anything different? And when you realize who you are as an individual, what you want in life and what you don't want and what you don't want to repeat from your past relationships, because I always tell people, you may say you don't want this, but you're repeating the same patterns by attracting the same type of men. And if you don't want that type of men, then you have to change how you're responding to those type of men. And you have to learn to recognize the red flags early. If the man is genuine, if he's sincere, or if he's just trying to get into your pants. So, everybody deserves to be treated with that love and respect. And, when you realize that you're worthy of love, then you won't settle. And even in my personal experience, being in a relationship, first I had to have a relationship with myself. When you learn to have a relationship with yourself, you learn to enjoy your own company. And you learn to realize that you don't have to go and sit down and have dinner with somebody that you know you don't like, that you really don't want to talk to, just to be in someone else's company. So learning how to be in your own company, in your own space, and being loving it, embracing that, and saying, okay, I might not like, Valentine's Day is coming up. It's so funny because I was just talking about this on Facebook. Now's the time when people start to feel that lonely feeling if they're not in a relationship or if they're not with someone, and they're like, I want to be a part of that. That holiday. I just want to say that I have a Valentine because I don't want my friends to know that I'm not with a guy, or I just want to bring a guy around my family just so they can see that I have someone. And you should never do it for the wrong reasons. I think society puts pressure on people to have children at a certain age, to get married at a certain age, to finish school at a certain age, to do all these things, and people get wrapped up with it, and they do things for the wrong reasons, and they get married to the wrong person because they're trying to prove something to their family or to their friends. And once people get out of that zone of trying to prove something to the world and to people around them, then you can be in a better place and you won't settle because you realize that you deserve more and you're worthy of more.
I see. Very good. So, what you are saying is the pattern recognition is a very interesting computer or mathematical programming. The men and women who are in that field are very good at recognizing patterns and then make decision on the basis of what pattern that they are looking at. But the human beings, when it comes to love, affection, and marriage, and finding a partner, the pattern recognition falls apart because it seems that they are continuously attracting the wrong kind.
Mhm.
And that's that you just talked about it. You have to make sure that you are not, if the first guy you attracted or the first woman you saw, and you are repeating the same mistakes again and again, you got to change that. Okay, that's a very interesting point. Now the next one I want to ask you, so okay, the Valentine Day is coming now, and the guy doesn't have anybody, the girl doesn't have anybody, and of course there is a social pressure that because all their friends are going out and having dinner, or heading out to some club on
Right.
Valentine's evening. So this guy is sitting there and he says, wait a minute, I don't have anybody. Now should he be mourning about his grief of not finding a partner, or what is your recognition, your recommendation? Maybe all those guys who don't have a girl, or a man or a woman should meet at some place. Maybe you should
Well,
tell
my
them.
my my recommendation is to celebrate you.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, your best Valentine is you. You know,
Yes.
celebrate yourself. Find something to do that you love to do. Find something to do that makes you feel good, that makes you feel happy. Whatever that it is, to feel good at that moment. Because when you are operating in an energy of feeling good, that's when you attract those things. So you may just be feeling good about yourself. The more negative energy you start to feel, lonely and down and depressed and negative, the more you feed into that is the worse someone's going to feel. So I would say to, redirect those feelings into celebrating you, celebrating life. Celebrating where you are. It's a new year. You've made it through. You're in 2014. Okay, I'm excited about what this year has to bring. I'm excited about, the potential mate that I may find, or the woman that I may find that may interest me. This is like a new place for me. So just going into it feeling good and knowing that whenever the time is right, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Because once you position yourself for it, it will happen.
that's very interesting. So just just spend time with yourself, and now what do they do? Here is what I will do. See, by the way, I am for our audience. I am 58 years old. Okay, I don't have a partner. I don't have a lover. But here is
Mhm.
what is great about this coming Valentine's Day for me. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be trying to do something like what I am going to do. I don't have a partner, so I'm now telling this to the whole world. And I'm not looking for a partner, by the way. That's not the purpose of this conversation. But, and I am least bothered that if I don't have a partner during the Valentine's Day, because, see, I'm a helicopter pilot, okay? And I do the downtown tour of Dallas. So there are about 4 or 5 couples already lined up because, of course, they pay and go on a sunset romantic tour, and I'm going to be the
Right.
pilot. So here is how it goes. So there you go. I'm just watching the enjoyment of the couples having a lot of fun. To me, it doesn't bother
Mhm.
me. I mean, I say, wait a minute. See, these people are letting me in their life, and this is the
Mhm.
best moment of their life, and I'm sitting there along with them. Hey, what's more important than trying to get into a fight with somebody that it's not going to work out?
Exactly. Exactly. Because you're doing something you love and you're enjoying the love energy that's being spread,
Correct. Exactly.
in that environment.
Yes.
And that's really what it's about.
The last time what happened was there was a romantic sunset tour that I was going to take on a couple. The guy is going to propose to her, and he's
Mhm.
all ready with the ring and everything else, and the helicopter is ready. The guy comes in, and then he proposes to her, and lo and behold, she refuses it.
She refuses him?
Yes. Then I said,
Oh
wait a
my
minute,
gosh.
yeah, man, you are totally foolish. And then I told her, listen, forget this guy. Let's go on a ride. Okay. Uh, well,
Oh my gosh.
well, see, the thing of it is, I was very happy for him. Okay, and I said, okay, man, I will do everything. I got him the shower, flowers. He said, can you get me some flowers, some champagne? I said, yeah, I got it already, man. I don't know them, by the way. I have no clue about either of them. And then this guy comes along, and then she comes along. They looked okay, they talked okay, and then once he proposed, her face fell. I don't know, maybe she has some other thing going on, and she refused it. Now I said, listen, looks like you guys are not going to go on this trip, so I am ready for this trip. Because you already paid for it. Now I don't really want to take a ride with this man, but because but this woman looks pretty good. Let's say, can we go?
Oh gosh, that was a green light for you, huh?
Well, it's not a green light. I said, well, somebody has to take a ride because otherwise you guys are losing it. you know. But anyway, finally, I convinced both of them. Listen, guys, you work this all out later. So why don't you guys get on it? But here's the deal: you sit on the back, man, and she sits right next to me. That's the deal, and we will finish this.
Oh, that's so funny. And what happened?
Well, nothing happened. They never got married, I guess, because after that, she didn't go back with him, and she took a taxi to get to her house. I mean, that's the last I saw them. Okay.
Wow,
Anyway,
that
ladies
is
and
so
gentlemen,
funny.
you are listening to Dallas Live, and you're also listening to our featured guest, Georgia Woodbine. Georgia, please stay on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns staring out the window at the darkness. Till boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I made a life out of reading people's faces, and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. Cause every hand's a winner, and every hand's a loser. And the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out a cigarette, faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dallas Live. I am your host, Dr. RC. You are listening to our featured guest, Georgia Woodbine. Georgia, welcome back to our last segment.
Yes,
Uh,
thanks for having me back.
Very good. See, now, that was the Kenny Rogers song where you were saying that, this looks like a gambling to me to some extent. That guy coming there and handing over that, trying to propose to her, and apparently he didn't know
Right.
that she's not ready. So, in most situations, men knew at least 99% of the time, but there are 1 or 2% unfortunate cases where they get rejected. And I
Right.
had to be a witness to that scenario. But anyway, coming back to um, this Valentine's Day, well, let's talk about black women in America. That is a fascinating subject for me, and
Mhm.
it looks like uh, there seems to be a serious problem here. And is that true, or is just made up in terms
Well,
of
I
black
mean,
women finding a good black man?
see that's the problem I have. It shouldn't be where it's like us where I talked about types. I think people need to um, be open to any culture and be open to different types of cultures in relationships. It shouldn't be just, okay, a black man, a white man, an Asian man. It shouldn't be where it's like, I'm only going to date one type, because I think that people, not only women, but I think men miss out too when you don't open doors to new things and new people. And, this world is like, it's a melting pot, it's
Yes.
so many people from so many different places, it's so many different cultures, so many things to learn, to know, to do. And I think that, as an individual, people need to just be open to whatever comes and not be limited in saying, because I want to be with a black man and because most black men are locked up or this or married or gay or this or that. I mean, it shouldn't be where you're looking for a type of man or type of woman. I think people need to be open to
Okay,
dating other
I
races.
I totally agree with
That's
you
what I think.
because if I don't see anything wrong with that. You are saying that you have no objection, or you would promote interracial
Well,
dating
yeah,
and
my
marriage.
my fiance is Italian and I'm black. You
Okay,
know,
very good, very good.
So I have no problem, against that. I never said to myself I'm going to date an Italian guy. I mean, it wasn't something I said, but it happened, and it was
Okay,
fine, and I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? So, I didn't limit myself. I think, I got to a point where I knew what I didn't want in a relationship. And I think when people get to the point where they know what they don't want in a relationship, now they can go forward and say, okay, this is what I am looking for. And these are the things that I won't tolerate and that I won't deal with. And when people will be surprised, when you open your horizons and you see things from a different way, there's a saying, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So when you stop limiting yourself to certain types of men, then your opportunities to meet the type of men that the men that are good for you, the men that are right for you, then that door will open. You
I
know.
see. I have a great respect for the black leader, Louis Farrakhan. Now, Louis
Mhm.
Farrakhan says that interracial marriage is not good news, and he says that everybody, each and every race should be isolated and not intermarry or intermix. Apparently, you don't subscribe to that.
Well, you know what? To me, to say you have a spiritual belief and not be open to people mixing, I have a problem with that because you can't say you believe in a higher power and you believe in these things, but you still have prejudice towards people. To me, God has no prejudice to us. So who are we to say that we don't think this person should be with that person, that person? That's not for us to judge. That's not our place to say this is not right. So I think that to each his own. I mean, everybody have their own opinion. They have their own beliefs. How they were raised, how their parents raised them, and that's really where it comes from. That mentality. If you're taught something as a child, this is wrong, this is bad, this is not good, then you grow up, you know, you grow up embracing that mindset. And when you don't open yourself to other things and you're stuck in one way of thinking, it limits you as an individual to grow. So I mean, like I said, each his own. I think that people, you can't say that are you're about sharing good with people, but then you're prejudiced. I don't see how the two of those mix. I
Absolutely.
really don't understand that.
Very good, very good. Go ahead and tell our audience where they can, the list of books that are available, I believe, on Amazon.com. Go ahead and tell how they can find this book and also the list of books that you have in the market.
Sure. They can go to my website, www.georgiawoodbine.net. The book is also going to be available in Barnes and Nobles. They can go to my site. But I just wanted to share quickly, because I know we're about to end, the do's and don'ts to attracting the right man. I have a couple of do's and a couple of don'ts
Yes,
that I wanted to go through real quickly.
sure.
So when it comes to finding the right person in a relationship, I believe every woman, wants to experience true love. So here are some do's. Do be yourself at all times. Do keep a positive attitude and outlook about your relationships. Do have confidence in yourself. Do continue to be responsible and independent. Um, do smile and be approachable. Do pay attention to every word that comes out of the man's mouth. do
Yes,
do look into his eyes when you're speaking to him, and do learn to be his friend first and enjoy his company. Here are some don'ts. Don't tell him how you feel too soon. Let things take time. Don't give up the cookies too fast. Don't compare the new guy with the old guy. Don't allow yourself to be available for booty calls. Don't prejudge every guy you meet based on his looks. Don't be clingy or appear to be jealous. Don't chase a man. Let him do the chasing. And don't allow a man to have control over your decisions.
Well, very well said. So, ladies and gentlemen, so the do's, for the women, this is only directed towards women, or it's for both men and women?
Men and women. I'm
Yes,
telling you, it's men and women because, like I said in the beginning of the conversation, I think men and women are looking for the same things, and that's
I see.
love, that's respect, that's trust, and that's companionship.
So the do's are, yeah, be yourself, be positive, confident, smile so that you can attract or be approachable. Pay attention to either he or she, whatever they are saying, and then also watch their body language. And don't tell them how you feel very early on in the relationship, and don't compare the old one versus the new one. No booty calls. Don't be strictly basing your decision on his looks or her looks, and don't be clingy, and don't uh, don't chase them. Now the men may have to chase them, but the women don't chase them, and make sure that the other party is not a control freak. All right, so
Right.
that's pretty good. So I got that all written down. So I gotta memorize this next. All right. Well, we are coming to a conclusion on this program, but before we let Georgia go, I want to talk about there are a couple of other things you have done. The one book I think you need to tell our audience about is how to make big bucks without selling your soul. Tell us what this book is all about.
Well, it's so funny because when I came up with the title, and Barnes and Noble actually picked up that book, and I said I need a title that people are going to really look at. So that's how I came up with the title. But the book is really about one's motivations for success. It's about your motivation for money and how to go about getting money without selling your soul. So how to position yourself to use your gifts, your talents, your natural abilities to do what you're born to do, to turn your passion into profit, to you know, be who you were born to be, to live in your purpose. So that's more of what the book is about. A lot of times when people see that book, they automatically think, okay, it's about making money. It's not just about making money, but it's about your motivation for money. Why do you want the success? What are you going to do with the success once you get it? How are you going to touch people? So it's more about your intention and your purpose in life and learning how to tap into those inner gifts that you were born with, that untapped territory that so many people are walking around with, that they have not even used any of their gifts, and being able to use those gifts before you leave this world. Give
Hmm.
back to the world what you were born with.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Georgia Woodbine, and you are also listening to me, Dr. RC. Reality Check. That's a new name for me, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. I love it.
Right. Georgia, so what we need to do, we would like to close this session out because we are coming to the end of the program, and I would like to have you
Absolutely.
back here, in the very near future. By the way, when is your wedding?
When is the wedding? July 5th.
July 5th. Let me write it down.
Yes, July 5th is the wedding.
Very good. Excellent.
So
So
I will
we
be
will
walking down the aisle July 5th.
walking down the aisle July 5th. We will send our best wishes and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And perhaps we will do a show either just before that or just after that, depending upon how busy you get. Okay?
Absolutely. And that's why I say people need to go out and get how to attract the right man. No more settling because you can't teach what you don't know and you can't lead where you don't go. And I've done it and it's worked and now I'm getting married. So women, you need to go and pick up that book.
That's it. There you go. You heard it here. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. Georgia, please stay on the line.
Thank you.